I'm gonna get right to it.
Uncovering music by new and up-and-coming great artists.
The Grammy goes to
the next big thing. This is Untouched Melodies.
Talk to him. Talk to him. Talk to him.
Hello. It is another Untouched Melodies, and it is probably one that I have been begging for quite some time. One of my favorite artists out at the moment, and an esteemed special guest, Tony Mercedes as well. But Roxanne Luciano, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hello. Thank you for having me. It's always great to see you.
Oh, always. And of course, there's so much happening with you and so many things. But this is the first for you because we've never done a live stream before. So,
No.
guys, if you've got questions, now's the time for Tony or Roxanne. But we're going to lead with Roxanne just because, you know, you are the subject matter of this wonderful podcast. And so tell me a little bit about like how, just for Mariah's already getting in. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Hi, Mariah. Thanks for tuning in. Awesome. So tell me a little bit about how you got into music initially, because obviously being surrounded by Tony and the music industry and everything is obviously a big influence on you. But what made you decide to go down this path with your music?
Honestly, I think I've always wanted to do music. I've always wanted to be in the music industry, but I think it just took me a little while to get prepared, to get ready for it. You know, a lot of people jump into it and they're not ready at all, and then it just kind of crashes. So it took me a while to really like gain the confidence and just, you know, be like, okay, this is really what I want to do. So of course my dad called me one day and he was like, hey, so I have a beat. I have a kind of song, we know where we're going with it. I want to see how you like it. And that became Rich Rich, which was the very first song.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yes. So from there, it just kind of grew from there. And now we're here, living life.
It's funny you say that because Rich Rich was the first one I actually heard of yours. And yeah, it's fire. Like, it's a really good track. But, you know, I guess we'll kick it to Tony for a second. You know, Roxanne obviously looks up to you in almost everything she does because you're your dad, right? So, but when it comes to the music industry, you've been kind of through the trials and tribulations of that. Do you ever feel a little bit protective of her in this instance? Because, you know, it's not an easy industry, but when, like, she talked about you kicking her a beat and just saying, hey, see what you can do with this kind of stuff. But she's been around for, like, it's been a few years, you know. Has there been a moment where you've kind of been like, okay, all right, I need to be, because now you're managing her, but this is a new development. Like,
you know, here's the reality. You know, I don't really manage her. I think we have a partnership. So
yeah, exactly.
She has her own Roxanne Luciano music group. I have my Tony Mercedes music, and we put the companies together. So she's her own boss, you know. Because I found myself, I couldn't take the dad hat off, and it's very difficult. I'm making decisions based on how I personally feel. Like, I would micromanage every picture she posted. Not, you know, at some point it's like, you wouldn't do that to any other artist that you work with.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
So
it's funny you say that because you just did that on Facebook. It wasn't even a day ago.
So,
yeah.
You understand, it's a bit difficult, you know. But so right now we're on the hunt for somebody that may want to come in and kind of work with us and see where we can go. So she's actively looking for someone to come in and kind of hand walk her through it. That's just not going to be so judgmental like I am, you know.
Right. Oh. Well, Tony, hold on. I just got a comment in, and it's from a guy that we've been talking about. King Moore, thank you for tuning in, my friend. Looking forward to meeting you soon. That's awesome. That's another artist of yours. That's really, really cool. Thanks for tuning in. So, Roxanne, it's no secret that I'm a huge fan of yours. In fact, I've even achieved top fan status on your Facebook page. I'm quite proud of that.
I'm so
But
proud of
yeah, one of the things that I do on the show is Phil's top five. So we're gonna start that off. And just because you already know what my faves are, I can't really say anything about the ones that are unreleased yet. But there's a fave in there as well. But we're gonna go with Rich Rich as number five, right?
Hey, Bill,
Yeah.
before we do that, I want to talk about Rich Rich for a second.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Rich Rich, when I first presented it to Roxanne, it had like a Caribbean flavor, and she has Panamanian roots. So I wanted to bring that out, you know what I mean, to make sure that she remembers that you have a whole, Latin side of you. So I figured, you know what, we're gonna try and figure out how we can take, an artist from Atlanta that has roots that are over in the Caribbean, or South America, and be able to blend those two sounds together. And we created something that I thought was pretty magnificent. Now we struggle, of course, in a lot of areas where it got really political, but it was a big thing when we heard the record on the Atlanta Housewives, when we heard the record on Big Lizzo's show. She played it
Mm-hmm.
two or three episodes, so we knew we had something special. And and to me, I don't think there's no such thing as old songs. I just think that it's about timing. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't count Rich out if I was you. I would just kind of put a pin in it, because that record's gonna come back, and it's gonna come back with a vengeance. Trust me on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's in my top five for a reason. It was done in. It says 2020 was when it was posted on the streaming apps and stuff. But when you were creating that, Roxy, what lyrically, what kind of inspires you in this instance? Obviously, your dad laid down the beat. He did some work with you and stuff. But lyrically, where are you getting your inspiration from?
I think the whole song, how we created it from beginning to end, I think it was on the luxury black girl aesthetic. Like, that's what we wanted to go. Like, the women in the industry are really winning right now. So I've
Mm-hmm.
always wanted to create like a song for the girls. Like, we're rich,
Yeah.
like, and it's not just rich in money. It's rich in health and in any type of aspect that you think of. We're rich. Like, this is
Mm.
where we want to be, and this is how we want to be seen. And we're going to be raw and rich and rebellious. And that's how I really wanted it to go.
It's a fire track. We're gonna listen to it right now. But yeah, inspiration is, you're not short of inspirational things and people around you. But obviously, this track was like Tony said, it's before its time almost, because it's gonna come back. I know for sure. So we're gonna do that. Hold on, we'll get it lined up here. Now, I'm only going to play a little snippet of it because I want people to go out and actually listen to your stuff on their streaming platforms. But here we go with Rich Rich. All right, I'm gonna cut it short in a minute, but I'm just gonna tell you right now, lyrically, the dexterity that you show in this first song is why you deserve to be in every conversation when it comes to new artists and hip hop artists and everything. Like, I'm not even just saying that. Like, I listen to your stuff all the time. I have people comment on how good you are all the time. So that like is before its time, really. But I mean, it announced you onto the stage. So it's about just continuing that awesome trend. But that's number 5, guys. So moving on, what do you think is the most challenging part of creating and being in the hip hop world right now?
Um, Honestly, I think the most challenging part is just keeping up with being consistent and not giving up. Like, it's a lot of times where you get really discouraged. So I think that, like, when you see a lot of people like just fly by and it's just a lot of things going on, and I don't want to put myself in the same category as everybody else. So I try to
Mm.
separate myself. But with doing that, it kind of makes it a little bit more complex. I don't want to say harder, but I think it makes it a little bit more complex. So it's it's a little challenging to try to just stay in that lane that you're already in and create your own lane instead of just kind of fitting in.
It's hard to, I think differentiating yourself from other artists is something that almost every artist struggles with, especially with the plethora of things that are available to us now, YouTube and everything. Kicking it to, hold on, Sean John, thank you for tuning in, my friend. I appreciate you sending all the love over here. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, and I hate beating a dead horse, but I keep coming back to Rich Rich. The record was so authentic that the producer who actually did lay down the drum tracks and put the rhythm and everything together for it was out of Madrid, Spain. This guy named White X, and this guy was only at that point he was 17 years old. Okay, and he's a monster. I love the energy. I love the way he really puts his tracks together, and his drum patterns and sequences are ridiculous. But he always, I said, hey man, give me a Spanish flavor, and he says, hey, I can definitely give it a Madrid. He's from Madrid, Spain, so he put his thing on it. And when I heard it, I'm like, yo, okay, now we got action. And on another note, I've seen Roxanne go through the struggle, and I go through the struggle. The record business has turned into a popularity contest. It used to be a circle of people that were special. Now it's just you can say something stupid on TikTok, you can go viral. If you can,
Agreed.
If you can spread your butt cheeks and scream, "I love Diddy," you can go viral.
I love the reaction from Roxanne when you said that. That was amazing. Oh, Dad.
He says a lot of things sometimes, and I'm like, I don't know if I should react to this.
Don't get me wrong. Like, we'll probably speak on the Diddy thing later. Like, Diddy's problems is Diddy's problems. Like, he's a friend of mine, and it's hard for me to really accept that he's guilty of so many of these things. But I can't defend him, nor can I throw him under the bus either, because I look at all those people who made all that money off of him. Where are they at now? Where's all the people that he took care of a lot of families? No one is stepping up saying, "Hey, bro, I got you," or "Hey, man, I'm praying for your family." Everybody's nothing but Diddy memes and this, that, and the other, and that's it. So it's like it just shows you just kind of people's mindset. People love to see people fall. That's a big thing. Like, they log on for that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. What do you
Edwards, thanks for tuning in, my friend. He was my last guest. I appreciate you saying that. The GOAT is actually on the show tonight, and his name is not Phil, it's Tony. So let's call it out. So the difficulties of being in the music industry are not. They're volatile, is what it is. They're ever changing, and like Tony kind of called it out. Social media, having TikTok presence, all that kind of stuff. Is it more of a science than it ever was to either of you? Do you think there's like an algorithm that works, or is it just figuring out what's popular and trying to speak to that?
Well, I think because Roxanne thinks outside the box, and her thing is, "Hey, Dad, I don't want to be like every other female rapper in Atlanta." It's a blessing to her because once you get in their mind, just people want to hear, you know, then that becomes the trending sound. And if you try to go outside of that box, you're the outsider. Like, I'm not gonna lie, some of the female rappers that I hear, they should really be rapping sandwiches, to be honest. No,
no, I mean it's real. It's real. It's I just feel as if there has to be, like, for example, let's just call it out for a second. Roxanne's lyrical ability is without question. We spoke on our audio podcast before about the fact that she writes her lyrics and all that kind of stuff. And when you look at each track that has been coming since the first one, it's growth. Every single one is growth. There's a different dynamic. There's a different sound. Like, it's aiming at the next thing. Number 4 obviously kind of speaks to that as well. Number 4 for me is I Like Girls, and so I Like Girls was one of those tracks that was completely off the cut. It was like so far removed. It's not one of your favorite songs?
I said it'll always be one of my favorites.
Oh, right, yeah. It's one of my favorites only because when you listen to A Whole Lot of Ass, Bag Up, or Drop the Attic, like, they're very hip hop like, which is there's nothing wrong with that, but I Like Girls just shows a completely different side to your artistry, and it speaks to like something else, which is just how you're really dynamic in what you create. So I think, tell me a little bit about when you were creating that, and Tony, if you remember it, obviously you can chip in as well. But what was it that you were trying to do when you were creating that song?
Okay, so let's say this first. I do have a lot of help with my creative process. I have to give credit where credit is due. I have a lot of help when it comes to writing, doing pretty much everything when it comes to the songs and the videos. My brain goes 20,000 miles an hour, so it's very hard for me to just sit down and literally write a whole song by myself, because I always want to, like, I'll hear another beat and I'm like, oh, I like this. Let me start on this song.
Mm-hmm.
I end up having 27 half-written songs, and it just doesn't work. So I do have a lot of help. I think with I Like Girls, I know when I wanted to do it, it was around Pride, and I always want to represent for the LGBT community. It's very important for me. So when I wanted to do that, I wanted to do it, but not so much like shit. Can I curse? Not so much like,
yeah, go ahead.
Yes. On the guy.
Yeah,
but
you can go all out. It's okay.
It was one of those, like,
Tony doesn't necessarily do that, but I'm all good with it. It's okay.
You know what? He never curses.
No,
he doesn't. But it was one that it's like I didn't want to dampen on men, but I also wanted it to be like, well, you didn't find love here, so here you go to something completely different, which just happens to be kind of the same thing that you are, and you found love. It's kind of like Katy Perry, I Kissed a Girl, and I liked it.
Yeah, that's actually it's actually kind of funny you say that, because that's what I relate, is the only other song that I can think of that kind of relates to that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was brave as well, because not everybody, let's call it out, not everybody appreciates that. Like, not everybody is on that page. Not everybody is inclusive. And so putting something out there that is inclusive sometimes alienates yourself, but you were pretty successful with it. It's a song that is one of your most streamed in most of the places that I look for. So it's it's incredible to me that you know that again. I'm gonna keep saying this. It's incredible to me that you haven't reached higher heights with some of this stuff. But I'm gonna play "I Like Girls" just because it's number 4. So here we go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so I'm getting comments on here that they can't hear it. You guys can hear it, can't you?
I can hardly hear it.
All righty. Okay, well then we'll fix that. We'll figure that out. But yeah, if you want to hear more of it, everyone's just commenting on how awesome that track is. For sure, it's a big deal. So we'll work on the volume of tracks going forward. You guys heard the first one though, right?
No.
I didn't hear it at all. I was just bouncing my head because y'all were.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. Perfect. So is it on YouTube? Oh my gosh, these comments are flying in. There we go.
Just play the Rich Rich video on YouTube. That might be something easier.
Yeah. We'll try that in a second. All right. Where you guys? You're all watching it on YouTube, so that's cool. Okay. All right. We'll move on pretty quick. So the other amazing thing about your music is, like I said, the growth. You have a lot of influences. You have a lot of people in your world. But who do you admire right now that's out there that you're kind of looking at, and not that you want to be like them, but you're kind of like, this is pretty smart. Like who really do you look up to in the music industry at the moment?
If we're talking current, I would honestly have to say Doja Cat. And I say this because she's so outside of the box. I don't really see another artist that's like her. She's not a rapper. She's not a singer. She just is in whatever lane she chooses to be in. And whatever she feels like that day, she's going to make a song of it. And it might be rap. It might be pop. We don't know. But I love that. Like, she's so creative. Her first song was, I think, Bitch, I'm a Cow. Like, it was a cow song on YouTube that just went viral one day. And she's one of the top artists ever now.
Yeah, she's different. She's different. She's different. She's bold, you know, and we'll go back to I Like Girls. To me, it was hard for me to swallow I Like Girls because, you know, this is my daughter who, you know, it's like, you know, I like her. What the fuck are we talking? What are you talking? You know?
Oh man, you got him to curse on live YouTubes.
Yeah.
We got him.
Roxy, what are you doing? All right.
So, you know, but you know what? I realized at that point that you can't tell your heart who to love. It is what it is. and I'm proud of her. I mean, like, of course, now she's head over heels in a whole different situation, you know,
Uh-huh.
and I'm more confused now, you know. So,
Oh
uh,
boy.
yeah, like, it's like, you know, it's like she's like a hairline killer. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I gotta wear hats forever now. It's a wrap, you know. Just
Yeah,
Oh
it's all,
my
it's all
god.
good. It's all good.
you know, I mean, no,
Um,
but you know what? It again, it's the out of the box thinking that she does that I like, and the fact that she's bold enough. I mean, she says, "Dad, I want my music to sound different." So she says, I need to go overseas, you know, and I'm like, well, where overseas are we going? She's
uh-huh.
like, no, Dad, we're not going. I'm going, you know.
You're
So,
not invited, is what that was. That was
oh
just
no, I
an
was invited.
uninvitate.
I was invited to write a check. Okay, yeah.
Oh
So
man.
he went
Hey,
over
hey,
to
Roxanne, are you sure? Are you sure having him on tonight was a good idea for you? He's.
Perfect.
I mean, listen, she went over to Denmark, Copenhagen, and she started working with uh, Pilfinger and Benjamin Lassiter. I think is it Lassiter? Lassiter.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And those guys were just geniuses. Like they changed her whole music style up. Like I don't even consider her a rap artist anymore, to be honest with you. She's more of a pop artist. We just haven't let anybody hear the new pop stuff because it's so dynamic. It's ridiculous, and
Yeah.
I can't just throw it out there because it deserves more. And I'm not going to sit here and just roll the dice on songs that I know are legitimate hit records. You know, I sold
Right.
125 million records in my career. I know a hit when I hear it. She's got some hits, but it's just above my pay grade, to be honest with you. You know,
Right. Right.
and I'm just being totally, you know, keeping it a buck. It's above my pay grade because it deserves a machine, and we're not going to release those until we have a machine that's willing to say, "Hey, man, we're gonna roll the dice on rocks." You
Right.
know,
That's fair. That's fair.
you know, it is what it is. I mean, not knocking any female rap artists because there's a lot of up and coming rap artists that I really love that are doing. They're grinding in the same way. I mean, I could call names. They're really grinding. Then I see them out there doing it. You know, and
Hmm.
Mm.
we applaud them. You got um, Big Endo, who was doing well. You know, you got
Hmm.
Ajay, who's doing well as a basketball player. You know, you got
Right.
Peter Caldas is doing some things that's kind of crazy and moving the needle. And all these artists are really just trying to pour their heart and soul in their craft, and they're getting blocked by politics. They're getting blocked by checkbooks. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just really
Hmm.
important that some of these artists don't get their day in court, so to speak, and to be able to show the world that, hey, I deserve to be here. And I'm not going to say this because it's my daughter. I'm just saying it because I'm an executive and I understand and I recognize talent. I
Right.
do it. I've done it my whole life. Roxanne Luciano is a star. There's no question about it. You know,
Well,
I
that's something that we both can agree on.
no, it didn't start that way though. Like it didn't start that way. When she first started rapping, I'm like, man, okay, how the hell am I going to pull this off? Because
It was so overwhelming.
it's
Like
just
it's
it's
it's hard to try to find your sound, I think. To try to find your niche.
you know.
Like I
Uh,
love Rich Rich, but to see where we came from that song, it's like it's such a big difference.
oh yeah.
Such a big difference.
Such a
Yep.
big difference. But you know, it's I still believe that the cream will always rise to the top, and I
Hmm.
know that Rox always works. Instead of working down to a dollar, she's going to continue to work up to a standard. So I don't really worry about her future. I just, you know, it's just a matter of not when, but I mean, not if, but when. So I mean,
Yeah.
she's going
Yeah.
to be good no matter what. And you know, in the meantime, you know, I know she didn't tell you, but she's doing a movie in Atlanta coming up with I think Ti's in the movie and T Pain,
Oh boy. Oh
Carl.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's gonna. I mean, she gets killed. There's no question about it.
Yes, I do die.
She dies in the movie.
But
You
that's
know.
hey,
I'm
no,
excited though.
I'm excited for you. This is new news to me. But one thing I will say is, Tony has shared some tracks with me that you're probably not aware that has been shared with me, and I can tell you this that um, knowing what you have made and knowing what is coming, it's only a matter of time. Like it is only a matter of time. Like And I'm not just saying that because you're on the show. I truly believe, like, this is why I made this podcast. This podcast was born of the idea that there are artists out there that deserve to be seen, and you are definitely one of those artists. And whether it's Tony Mercedes behind you or anyone else, um, the industry is tough. Like, it's really tough, and we're getting comments in right now. Say the nonsense music is blocking good and real talent. It's the truth. I mean, you can look at the chart every day and you'll see the same thing over and over and over, and it's like, well, I don't want to see that anymore. I want to see what's coming up, and that's really the authenticity that your music brings, and why I made this podcast. So I'm just grateful that you've come on, because
Thank you.
Tony's become a good friend of mine now, and we talk all the time. And he's sent me some great artists that have also been on this show. And I can tell you that timing is everything. As Mariah, is that Mom? Is that who that is?
Yes, that is.
Mom is watching as
Hello,
well.
mommy. Hi, Ladybug. She told me she was gonna stay up tonight. I didn't believe her.
Well, she proved you wrong. Timing is everything, 100%. Um, thank you for tuning in and staying up, and supporting, obviously. Um, she sends her love. There you go. Look at that.
Oh,
Look at that.
I
Look
love
at
you,
that.
Lady. Stop.
Oh my
I
gosh.
love
Oh my gosh.
you.
And this is what we talk about all the time. The support that you have around you, for any artist, really. It doesn't necessarily have to be musical. It's what drives you and what kind of motivates you to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
There are going to be doors shut. There's going to be no's. There's going to be more no's than yeses a lot of the time for artists. And I think having the right people around you um, definitely help kind of screen that, because
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely. I have a huge support system, and I think that's what keeps me kind of grounded. Like, it kind of keeps me like, okay, I got this. I can do this. Like,
hmm
it's hard when you want to do something and you have it's just you by yourself and you don't have that support. But I have so many people, family, like everybody that just is very supportive. So it makes it to where you want to keep going. It's
there
just
are
Every,
days, there are days, I'm not going to lie to you, Roxanne. There are days that worry me a little bit because I see some of those posts on Facebook, and
yeah. Now,
you're
I will say this. A lot of my posts may not generally, they might not just be about me. Sometimes
hmm
I'll post just general things that everybody can kind of relate to. So
right.
a lot of the times it's not just about me, but there are times where I do post, my feelings and stuff because I think it's relatable.
No, 100%. It leads to the question, what do you feel are your biggest struggles for you personally right now? Forget the fact the industry and the music and all that kind of stuff, but like for you personally, some of these posts are like they speak about mental health and how
Hmm.
the music really, while you're striving to create and really put your stuff out there, um, the mental health aspect of it plays in when you do feel like you're just on a treadmill not getting anywhere.
Hmm. I think and it's something that I think a lot of people can relate to, but a lot of people are also scared to kind of admit. Mental health plays the biggest part in almost anything that you do. If you're not prepared up here, then
Right.
anything that comes out is not going to go the way that you want. And I think for me, I have a lot of like anxiety. So a lot of the times I might struggle with things that might be small to some people, but for me
Right.
it's massive.
Right.
So a lot of the times I get overwhelmed with a lot of things, especially with my career. Like I do get overwhelmed a lot and I try to express it without expressing too much,
hmm
but just getting it out to where people can just be like, okay, so she's human. She feels.
Yeah.
uh,
It's something that I've spoken about with Tony quite a bit, and almost every artist that I've had on here. The the authenticity that adds and the
Mhm.
relatability that adds to you as an artist. Because before it was like, you people would go on American Idol or something, and then you have to be perfect, everything has to be perfect.
Exactly.
Now it's more, how do you connect with the people that are listening to you,
Mhm.
and what is the relatability side of that? Because when people start talking, like, I follow a guy right now, and he struggles with mental health and all that kind of stuff, and I resonate with a lot of his lyrics because now I know where he's coming from and what they're speaking to. So when
Mhm.
you kind of wear your heart in your sleeve a little bit, and you do demonstrate those things to people and kind of open up,
Yes.
you're showing to the world, hey, I'm human, this is me, and this is what I'm creating for you guys. I hope you
Mhm.
like it. And honestly, your fans, Roxy, all the Roxys out there, I consider myself one of them. I feel I feel as though by you doing what you do on Facebook, not only does it give you a nice bit of self esteem when people come back and go, "Don't you worry, you got this," all this stuff, like all the great comments, but it also just shows them that you didn't just get this because who or
Mhm.
any of that stuff. So I appreciate you sharing that as well. Anxiety is a big deal for a lot of people, including myself. So I think that's pretty cool that you shared that. Tony, I cut you off. What were you going to say, my friend?
I was gonna say when she said it's a big deal to me, and she raised her hand. I was like, "Go put a shirt on." I mean, the cleavage is ridiculous now. Now I got anxiety. You know,
I have a shirt on, sir. It's a crop top.
yeah. Can we crop it
uh,
out?
It's a crop top.
oh, daddy. Oh
I
my
can't.
gosh. Here we
I just
go.
can't.
Here we go.
I can't put on a record that plays low again, please.
Mom is disapproving. I don't know what she's disapproving of, but we're gonna leave that one alone. All all right. So this next one is number 3, and number 3 for me is actually one that I actually told you that for some reason it's on Apple. It's not on Spotify, but anyway, that's not a big deal. Um, it's one that I absolutely adore because it's right. It's the first of the few songs that came out of your trip that Tony paid for but wasn't invited to.
My guy, I like you more right now, buddy.
Just letting you, just kind of, not to pick up a sore subject or anything, but here we go. So this is not a possibility. Now tell me, just tell now. Tony's laughing right now, but tell me a little bit about this song, because this is the first one that you released that was from that. Am I wrong?
What?
Or
No,
I think that was the first one you did, because the next one
No, no,
after
no,
that.
I
no.
thought. Oh my God, was the
Oh my
first one.
God, was the first one.
Oh my God was the first one. Oh, okay, all right. Well, I do like Oh My God, but yeah, this is I
Okay,
do
well,
like
do
this.
you want to tell him about
Go on, Tony. You've got a story.
possibilities?
No, she said I'm not a possibility. So I mean, I, you know, anybody,
He's lost for words. It's not often that Tony's lost for words. I'm not lying to you.
I mean, listen, I gotta live with this right here. You know what I mean? My daughter's not a possibility. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's play the record.
I just want to say this is probably one of my top fave interviews
Wow.
so far. just dealing with the family dynamic is it.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
So tell me where the song came from, first of all, because obviously you know, who did you work with? What was the idea behind it? We obviously know that the not a possibility, just the title track, obviously the title of the track is kind of like, okay, what it kind of grabs attention.
With a butter knife, people.
So when we did possibility, that was in LA, wasn't it, Dad?
Yes.
And that was actually the first night that we met the producers from Europe. That was the first night I met them.
Okay.
Listen,
And
I knew it was going to be an issue when I walk in the room. There's not a black person in the room. It's some German guys, some guys from different places, and I'm like, what in the heck is this? And they came out with not a possibility. So I had two choices: either I could accept the record or just.
I mean, I love the record. I'm just saying.
Honestly, you know, like when you listen to it, it really says something. You
Yeah,
know?
it does. Yeah,
No,
it does.
it's like, hey, man, because like the reality is, if a guy's mouth is moving and there's a girl there, 99.9% of the chances, you know, of those times he's trying to see if he's a possibility. You know, if this is a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you speak to that, but I think, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong, Roxanne, but what I get from this track is the desire that, you know, first of all, that women are objects, so you're fighting that battle. So it's like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not a possibility. It means that, number one, I'm not a possibility, but also I'm not an easy lay either. So it's like,
Exactly.
that's kind of what you're trying to say. And so
Yes.
while the track does make Tony cringe a little bit, as far as the name of it, it's what you're actually speaking to is what men do to women all over the world all the time, and it's just like, hey, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know, stop trying to own us, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I love that.
Exactly.
So that's really cool.
I love
So,
that you got that from that. That's awesome.
well, because well, mainly because I'm a man, and I know that that's what these, you know, it's not a secret. That's not what men do or anything. So, but yeah, no, it's also, you know, my wife loves rap and she listens to rap as well, and hip hop and all that kind of stuff. And this track just, it is one of those tracks that just kind of like, yeah, it's an empowering thing for women everywhere, because it's like, you know, you can guarantee that someone's having a house party about to go out, and they're like, no, we're going out having fun, and we're not a possibility. So there you go.
So Phil, when your wife plays this out of the clear blue sky, she's really letting you know it's time for you to get on the couch, buddy.
Yeah,
Tonight,
yeah. Agreed. If she ever does,
just letting you know.
Yeah.
You got to read the signs, Phil. You got to read the signs.
Yes, sir. All right, we're gonna try and do this. Now I feel like I fixed the sound thing, so let me know if you hear this, okay?
Yeah.
All these hoes wanna know, is it really me? When I flex, getting checks off that energy. All these dudes getting hype, wanna lay down the pipe, get it right. I am not a possibility. Not a what, not a what, not a possibility. Not a what, not a possibility. Not a what, not a what, not a possibility. When I'm in the spot, I am not a possibility. Kitty cat walk on my kitty cat paws. Paddock in the light, pretty beaming when I fall. Got a bag of bust down, crown leaning, I'm a boss. Ice grilling with the Wessels, 10 grand up on my jaw. Throwing hundreds in the spot, I ain't keeping ones at all. And the Louis V onesie, spending money till I fall. Get it steaming till the Benjamins be sticking to the wall. Ain't a single one of y'all getting close to me at all. Cause I came for some ass, baby girl, then I bounce. Put the baddest bitch around in the motherfucking house. Dudes wanna what, hit the wop, turn them out. Cause they all for the clout, let them know what I'm about. All these hoes wanna know, is it really me? When I flex, getting checks off that energy. All these dudes getting hype, wanna lay down the pipe, get it right. I am not a possibility. Not a what, not a what, not a possibility. Not a what, not a possibility.
All right, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the correct message from that I got from that track.
You
So
got it right.
I actually love this track. It is a great track. So well done, you. I think you made the right decision in going down the road with these producers, because they produced a great track. Well done, awesome. Okay, so moving on. You know, one of the things that I admire about your dad is his tenacity to continue on and keep going and never let anything phase him. What's it like, the partnership? Obviously the posts on social media sometimes, obviously, you know, give him a little bit of anxiety and all that kind of stuff. But just speaking to the fact that, forget he's your dad for a second, like, just what's it like having Tony Mercedes in your corner?
It's amazing. I think it's everything that I've ever needed and ever wanted. Um, Separating him from my father as a business perspective, I think that he's perfect. He gives me constructive criticism when I need it. He'll let me know when something's not sounding too good, or if I'm not doing enough, giving enough energy, or if I'm not showing enough confidence, or like he definitely helps me a lot
Mm-hmm.
with building up what I'm trying to do, and just gaining the strength to do it. I don't I don't think I'll ever find another Tony to work with. So
You're not the
um
first person to say that, to be fair, but
yeah.
I asked that question to lead into this one, and it's mainly because a lot of people look up to you, a lot of people look up to Tony, but as far as an artist, you're hold on, I gotta put this comment on the screen. Dad approved. Great track, Rocks. There you go. Awesome King. He's
Yeah.
staying up late, man. I don't know where he is in the world, but that's late. Good job.
I need to call Child Protective Services on
Yeah,
that.
I don't, what's going on over there? Oh my gosh, well done. Thank you for staying tuned in, my friend. That's awesome. Um, yeah, every artist out there is kind of like trying to find, the secret sauce. Like what works? How am I going to find what I need to get to where I need to be? And having the right people around you is kind of underestimated. Not having the right people around you affects you in so many different ways. And so
Absolutely.
the aspects that he contributes to the most, I feel, are, obviously his knowledge and all that kind of stuff, but
Mhm.
the critiquing and all that kind of stuff. What's the hardest part about that for you? Like, as far as like, do you ever have an argument where it's like, hey, I think it's perfect, and he's like, well, no, this is, just listen for a second. Maybe not a possibility was that first track. I don't know.
I don't think that we've ever really had an argument about it. I think that we've definitely had our
Differences of opinion.
differences
Yeah, there
in
you go.
opinion, but we always find a common ground. That's one thing that I love. We always find a common ground. I think the scariest thing about working with him is he's my dad, so I never want to disappoint him. I
Fair.
think that's the biggest thing. But as far as anything else, I feel like we both have a lot in common when it comes to creative thoughts and processes. So if we disagree on something, we'll find a common ground and we'll make it work.
Let me say this, because I've heard her say,
I don't think you can disappoint him. I'll be honest with you.
yeah, she can't disappoint me. I'm super proud of her, and whether she sells one record or 100 million records, she's my star. She's not perfect, but she's perfect for me.
Oh, there you go. That's straight from dad. Look at that. Yeah, no, to be fair, I feel that comment as well, because it's not a, you he kind of already said it in a way. It was like, you're not really going for you're not going for like stardom. You're going for creativity. You're going for, if it takes forever to make a bunch of money, okay, but you're not in it for the money. You're in it for the money's a nice byproduct of your success, but like, you're in it to be successful, and the success
Absolutely.
and the success for people is relative. Like, for me, like, just having 10, 15 people like resonating with an interview that I've had is success for me. But this show has been pretty successful, and I've multiplied followers in weeks, and it's just like, what, like, it's just crazy. But like
Hmm.
I said, success is relative based off of what your goals are, and I feel like you have a good head on your shoulders, and you've got a great partner there in Tony, whether he's putting the dad hat on and critiquing your posts on Facebook, or like giving you the extra oomph that you need to kind of have a bit of confidence in what you've produced. Um, the number two for me in Phil's top five is one that I feel like it's just you, kind of Phoenix from the Flames. It's just amazing. Like, you're just winning is the one that I've
I
chosen for number two.
knew it.
You
I
knew it,
love
huh?
that song. Yes.
And it's funny. It's really really funny that you say that because um I do this fun thing on Spotify. I'm not pushing Spotify on anyone, but I use Spotify as a streaming service, and they do
Mhm.
the collaboration stuff. You can share what you love and send it to a friend and the link, and then they kind of pair up what you both listen to. And it's amazing to me that out of everyone that I've done it with, this song has been on a lot of people's lists. So it's like, hey, it's reaching a lot of places, and people are loving it. So winning is winning. It really
Winning
is.
is winning.
Um, Tell me a little bit about producing this, because this was one of the first that I've seen. Well, no, this it's one of the few that you've kind of had featuring artists, or you've done with a few artists that contribute. What was it like doing, like collaborating and creating like that?
It was actually really awesome. When I decided to do winning, I really had it in my mind. I want every female rapper on this song, all of them. I don't care if you guys like each other or not. I want all of y'all on this one song. And we're going to create a whole female anthem. Like, that's all it was. It's kind of like Rich Rich and a rap
Yeah,
song. Like,
yeah.
women are winning. We are winning. I was so happy when I was able to get Big Indo on there and Rennie Rucci as well. Like, they're two big artists that I really, really like. So, and their voices, all three of our voices together is just,
Yeah, without
it's so
question.
different.
It's like you've been buddies forever. It's crazy
Yeah.
how that works.
Yeah.
Creatively, obviously, working with these people is something that you've wanted to do, but what was the lyrically? What inspired you to create this? Like, what was the?
You know what? One day, I don't know. Honestly, I think I was just sitting down one day and I was just writing in my head and I'm like, okay, well, I have this beat and I really like it. What am I going to do with it? And then I just thought about winning. I'm like, well, I want an all female song. Like, we're winning right now. I think I called my dad or I sent him like a voice note of like where I was going with it.
Mm.
And from there, he was like, okay, I think I kind of like this one. And then we created it and we got, honestly, it was its own song in itself. And then we just kind of remixed it and let that be the initial winning song.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's really really
No,
cool.
it was really cool that she thought about just that the female rappers are winning right now. So she wanted to do a song, but also embrace other artists that she respected and she really liked, to get on the record with her and just create a record where nobody was. It was our record. It wasn't my record, Indo's record, or Rainey's record. Our record.
Yeah.
And so I had a lot of respect for that. And that's another record that I think that'll probably be remixed again and dropped out because, again, it fell victim to political
timing. Yeah,
but it's one of my favorite records, to be honest with you. And
Definitely.
And and all three of the girls looked like they were definitely winning.
Oh yeah, no, it's a really good track. It really is a good track.
Who produced that track? Do you remember, Rox? Who's the producer on that?
What's your Ian's? We did that over at Ian's studio, right?
Yeah, but did White X do that one too?
Oh
man. Gomez, Christopher Chris, and Mark Christopher Harden Jr. is what's on here
as writers, right? Huh. Okay.
Well, we'll you can think on that one and we can come back to it. But I'm gonna play this a little bit and then we can come back. And now that we fixed the sound thing, then people are gonna be able to be winning with this one as they're listening as well. So here
Let's
we go.
win, baby. Let's win.
Let's win. Let's win. It's the winner's circle.
Real boss bitch, got a mind, right? Never ever give a fuck about the limelight. winning every fucking night. All my shit expensive, bought that, I ain't rent shit. Big body, black tent, ass out, waist in. Got these niggas blowing bags, spending their last trying to get a piece. Everything he ever wanted, real niggas fantasize about me. I got that body, yachty, keep that money on me. Broke niggas can't do nothing for me, except act like they don't know me, bitch. Diamonds all on my neck, diamonds all on my wrist. Told you hoes, I been that bitch. They know ain't no stopping this, cause I'm a murder on the mic every fucking time. This is like counting all my money while I sip my wine. Like 20 carats, I'm gon' shine. Said it's me and my prime time. Kiss my ass if you don't like what the fuck I do, cause it's my life. Ay, real boss bitch, got a mind, right? Yeah. Never ever gave a fuck about the limelight. Long as my bills stay paid.
All right, I'm gonna pull it back because you are the focal point of what we're talking about tonight. I could play the whole thing and we could hear everyone, but
play.
you know, it's about you. So I just want to say this lyrically again, like it's fire. Like you're just like cutting it up. It's unbelievable. Like it's just really, really good. I mean, well done to you. Like really, really well done. And to be fair, like it's just the ascension. It's part of what's happening right now. You know, everything that you release, everything that you're creating, there's a new element to it that is subtle. It's not like very, very in your face stuff, but like if you're listening, like you're even rapping with confidence, like real confidence. Like you can hear it. It's just awesome. It's really, really awesome. I love that
Thank
about
you.
it. So well done you.
Thank you.
So Tony, you know, what's it like for you? I mean, you know, with the dad hat on and everything, regardless, like working with Roxanne is challenging just because of there's so many emotions in there. You're being protective and everything. But when you hear a track like Winning, like is it hard because right now you're being very strategic? You talk about like not releasing stuff because you want to make sure that, you know, it's the right timing. Like how hard is that? Because whenever I mean, I've heard stuff that is the unreleased as well. So I'm like, come on, release it. It's so awesome. I want to hear it. But like, you gotta be really. I think that's one of the things that I think artists just are not as skilled in doing is just having that like patience for the right moment.
Mhm.
You definitely have to have patience out here. It, it's all strategic. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like putting a puzzle together. You know what I mean? And sometimes people will try to put that puzzle together with, you know, with blindfolds on. You know, and I always say, hey, the blind can't lead the blind. I've never seen Stevie Wonder lead Ray Charles nowhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
So and music is the same way. Everything is all strategy. It's timing. But you also have to be smart enough to know when not to pull the trigger. You know what I mean? Because you know that the target you're trying to hit, it's almost impossible to hit it because your bullets are just too small. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm not going to gamble with Rox's career when I know that some of these pop records you have are just too big for what I can assist you with. You know, I have to keep it real with myself. People say, "Yeah, you need to release." No, you can't release until you know the pieces of the puzzle that you need are in place. So, you know, and maybe that's a character flaw of mine, but to me, it's everything is like I said, it's all strategic and it's think, plan, execute. Think, plan, execute.
Right.
But know when to drop that gem.
Mhm.
So,
Awesome.
but
All
you
right.
know,
I appreciate your insight because a lot of people need that behind them as well. Like I speak to artists all the time, as you know, and you know, there are people that do releases every 2 weeks because you know it's about content creation and just keep coming out. You know,
yeah,
which is cool. And as long as you're not compromising quality and you're actually bringing out good tracks, which some of these people are, you know, it works. But there's also that element of patience and stuff that needs to be part of that. So your insight is valuable.
Mhm.
Roxanne, if you could work with any artist in the industry right now and you could feature on their track or they could feature on your track, not to call you out on live YouTube, but who would it be? Like who would you want to be working with? Obviously, you worked with Big Indo and that. So who right
Missy
now would be
Elliott.
an awesome Missy Elliott? There you go.
Absolutely. That's
I
not
love
even
that.
a question. Missy Elliott. Absolutely.
That's
She's
awesome.
just so different. So different. Everything that she does, even all her songs are just magnificent. Like she is a lyrical genius. I would love to work with her.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah,
Tony,
if we can
that's your homework for next week. I'm
see
joking.
see if we can set that up.
Yeah, maybe.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. And to be honest, I see it as well. That's the cool part about all of that is I see that. Like that isn't even when you can imagine it and you can see it happening, it's not that far fetched. You know,
Hmm.
when it's like I dream about winning the lottery, but I know it's a far fetched thing, right? But seeing you featuring on a track or her featuring on your track, that would be it's got to happen. It's just awesome. It's just really cool stuff.
Keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah, there you go. That's hopefully the next thing. So number one is no mistake. It's not coincidental. It's your newest one. I think honestly, you've again, it's just one of those tracks that as soon as I heard it, I was just like, man, so when you said you were releasing a track, I was expecting any one of the other ones that I've heard that are unreleased, right? But I hadn't heard this one. And when I heard it, I was just like, man, Tony's a genius, Roxy's a genius. They're bringing out the right stuff. It's just awesome.
I can't if it's what I think it is. I can't take credit for that. That's all right. I mean, she pulled the trigger on that. You know, just back to play, and that's why I say, you know, we have a partnership, and when you have a partnership, you have to listen to your partner. You can't say we're partners, but you want to make all the decisions. It can't. It doesn't. So, you know.
So I'm being told that you definitely can make that Missy Elliott thing happen. So that's the comment that just came.
Well,
in
you
here.
know what? The gentleman that said that definitely had to Missy Elliott, and and you know it's actually Kylie dad, so he definitely has a link to Missy Elliott.
Okay.
You know, Kylie and Roxanne are they're joined at the hip. They compliment each other in terms of their music, and they check
That's
on
my good one.
yeah. So if her father says that it can happen, it can happen.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
It can definitely happen.
Well, the
I
one
know-
I'm talking about, obviously, you already know this, is your latest, which is
Uh-huh.
ha ha ha. Yes, and it's just really like again, it's just more confident. It's just all this confidence. You're exuding this confidence. It sounds amazing. The beat's great. The lyrical stuff is amazing. Like it's just again, you just keep getting better and better and better, and it's just another one on the board that you're just going to be you should be amazingly proud of. I know Tony is just because of the support and everything, but just for me, I think it's just awesome. Like when you hear all the tracks that you've created, you can like this is why I love doing this show is you go through all these tracks and I get to listen to every back catalog stuff and all that, and I hear the growth as we go, and this is just another one of those examples. So this is your latest new single, I can call it that now still. Ha ha ha, and it is amazing. So we're gonna play that right now.
Hey, Benjamin, he got Benjamins.
Ha ha, I make it splash like it's agua. Ha ha, I do the slide, cha cha. Ha ha, I got a bitch that speak patois. Ha ha, I let him run like my Zaza. What? Hey, you make me laugh like ha 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 ha. Hey, you kinda trash. I'm like ha 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 ha. Hey, I see you mad like ha 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 ha. Hey, I'm in my bag like ha ha ha. It's big money, it's strip for me. It's thick honey, this drip dummy. It's quick money, big tits on me. She get horny, get lit for me. I let her chew on a cho-cha. I make a goo goo and gaga. Show me that moolah la la la. Show me something, bitch. Cause you don't know the half. You ain't got them numbers right. Bitch, you make me laugh. Shit, look, I be running laps. Round a bum, bitch, and that's a motherfucking fact. What? Ha ha, I make it splash like it's agua. Ha ha, I do the slide, cha cha.
I love this song
That's a
for
song.
so
That is
many
a
reasons. I
song.
love this song, but you can report me if you want. But so I listened to this with my 5-year-old, and his favorite part is the what every time. It's like he's just in the back
Hey,
going, "What?" It's awesome.
hey, Phil, where you located at?
Vancouver, Washington, right now.
Okay. Siri, find CPS Chopper. Vancouver, Washington.
No, it's a fire track. And to be fair, there like this is the best that you've released. Like I know that there's even more. Like and that's why I have to be tight-lipped. Hold on one second. Gotta put this on here. There you go.
God, he's so
Yes, I didn't leave nothing on that plate, girl.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, there's so much to come, and I'm really excited. So tell us a little bit about that because we're coming to the end of the show. Like, tell me what's coming. Obviously, Tony kind of alluded to a movie and all this kind of stuff, but musically, what can we expect? How soon can we expect it? What's happening?
Well, like we said, timing is everything. And the next songs that we are going to put out will be gearing more towards pop.
Yeah.
And like we do have our one rig kind of Caribbean Spanish type of song that we're doing that as well. So I kind of wanted to get out of the rap lane and focus on pop. Like I feel like pop is my avenue. And I never wanted to be considered a rapper. So I definitely
Right.
love where we're going with it right now. As far as when we're gonna be releasing, that is to be continued. I do not know.
That's
We
up
are
for debate. Okay.
we're up for debate. We're kind of waiting for the right time,
Yeah,
waiting
that's fair.
to get it. Because what actually happened initially, we were supposed to do an EP with all of these songs,
Uh-huh.
including the unreleased songs,
Right.
and we decided that instead of doing an EP and throwing out all of these songs at one time, let's just break them down and just give people bit by bit
Uh-huh.
because it's easier for somebody to listen to a single song when they want to. It's harder
Yes.
to get people to stay focused when they're listening to a whole album or an EP.
Right.
And I didn't want the song to just go to waste. So we decided to kind of wait until it's the right time to put them out.
It's smart. It's smart.
yeah, like what I would love to see. Just really curious about it, and I haven't even spoke to Roxanne. I would love to see you in the studio with this girl named Bria Jordan. That might be really interesting. What do you think, Phil?
Oh, dude. Hell yes.
Right?
I was gonna say actually, to be fair, off air, I was gonna say it, but I'm glad that you pulled it up. So Bria was on the show maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. I can't even remember now, but she still hits me up on Instagram and stuff. She's a really cool person, but her music is like very what you're going for. It's very like it's perfect. Yeah, that would be
No,
awesome.
it's different, and you two are different. So you won't bump heads because you're totally different.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
You're over here, she's over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it might be pretty interesting. I gotta send you some of her stuff, Rock, so you can hear it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, she's coming to Atlanta, I think, in the middle of April. So I'm gonna try to get you guys together and just because I'm
There
just
you
curious.
go. Look at this. Look at this. We're making music. We're not even making music.
I
Look at that.
love that.
That'd
Yeah,
be
I'm
amazing.
all for women empowerment. Like I want to work with all types of girlies. Like I do not discriminate. The more out of the box you are, the more I want to work with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And you asked a question on Facebook recently. It was like, who would you want me to feature? Who would you feature in a song? And I chimed in obviously because I'm following a guy called Connor Price right now. He's just blowing it up on TikTok. He's just huge. but he was a child actor, and he got into doing hip hop and all that kind of stuff because of COVID, and he was bored and he wasn't getting any work. So he's actually just doing crazy stuff. But I just think it's amazing that you're open to working with newer, like different types of artists. And that's because, it's how great music is created a lot of the time. Like look at all the great tracks that have been made that are multiple artists on the one track, and just tell me that isn't amazing when it works really well. It's just awesome stuff. So all joking aside, Bria is an amazing artist. Definitely check out our episode if you haven't seen it. It's one of the more recent ones that I truly enjoy, just because she's a unique sound. She kind of has that Sia kind of vibe. Her voice is very original. It's really, really cool. So I think you two would really hit it off, outside of the fact that your dad is also helping her ascend to great heights as well. Let's, for everyone that doesn't know, obviously this is going to go to, this is on YouTube. You're probably going to share it to all your amazing fans and all that stuff. But tell us how to find your music, what your socials are, and we'll wrap this up.
All right. Well, it's about that hour.
Yeah.
All right. You can find pretty much all of my music, I think, except for Possibilities, on all platforms. I think that might be the only one that's not on all platforms.
Yeah, it's on everything but Spotify. It's on Apple and Amazon, so that's fair. That's fine.
Okay. And yes, Instagram, official Roxanne Luciano. TikTok, Roxanne Luciano. I am on Twitter, Roxanne Luciano. Facebook, Roxanne Luciano. Everything is Roxanne Luciano.
Yeah.
And follow me. I follow back. I love talking to my Roxies. So yeah, definitely.
And you do talk to your Roxies. You really do. You it's actually pretty admirable, considering there's so many people just peppering you with comments, and you always find time. So that's really, really cool. And Twitter's the one thing I don't follow you on, so I'll definitely start doing that. Because I follow you on everything else, and I'm not really on Twitter, but I'm pushing myself to get on Twitter more, because it is the Twitter and Twitter is the one thing I'm not really doing anything with. So yeah, I'm just waiting to see what happens with that whole X Twitter vibe thing. You know what I mean? But anyway, that has been another amazing episode of Untouched Melodies. Tony, I know you're going to be back, because you always find time to grace us with your presence here on the show. And I will forever be grateful for the artists that you bring on here. But I am even more grateful that you were responsible for bringing this amazing woman into the world and ushering her music into great things and making this just happen. It's just awesome.
Thank you so much.
Here's what I can say. Rox, I can't promise you that I will be by your side for the rest of your life, but I can promise you I'll be by your side for the rest of mine. So
okay, we are not gonna end this.
Oh my gosh! Like, okay, hey, I'm gonna fire shots here. Mom thinks it was a great interview, and she's a Roxy. So there you go. Yeah,
yes, that's my Roxy mama.
Of course she is. Of course she is. Well, guys, again, thank you so much. Roxanne, it's always a pleasure. You're amazing. You're while I'm a fan, you're more of a friend at this stage. We talk so much. Same with Tony. I appreciate you guys so much for coming on the show. Until next time, guys, we'll be back again next week with another amazing artist. Who knows? It could be someone that Tony is kind of, representing. We'll find out next week. Until then, peace and be safe, guys. Thank you so much.
This is brought to you by Unscripted Productions. Thanks for being a part of the journey, and be sure to follow us for more info to get new episodes and more great content. And of course, rate this show on your favorite podcast listening platform and leave us a 5-star review. See you here next time.